You see this happen every summer. A team with top-tier talent dominates the early season, only for the roster to collapse by July, under the weight of internal drama and physical exhaustion. These failures usually trace back to a focus on the immediate gratification of a weekend trophy. When the priority is a short-term result, the program often ignores the internal stability needed to survive a long season. Toxic habits begin to form in the cracks of that unstable foundation. If the environment rewards individual stats over collective growth, the team begins to erode from within. Coach A.J. Hickey built the Dungeon Dogs baseball program on the opposite premise. To reach a sustainable level of success, you have to establish a specific, supportive environment before the first pitch of the season is ever thrown. Prioritizing a quick Sunday win at the expense of a healthy team culture sets a hard ceiling on how far an athlete can actually go. The athlete's first philosophy relies on a developmental model that values the long-term progression of the player over a single game's outcome. This logic is best seen in how a tree grows. A program that only cares about the fruit, the immediate wins, eventually sees its branches snap. By focusing on the underground network of the root system, the athlete develops the stability to produce healthy results year after year. Cultivating those deep roots requires the program to identify and shatter those barriers that commonly stunt an athlete's growth. The first barrier is the tendency to ignore the players at the bottom of the roster. In many programs, a struggling athlete is simply benched for a more polished teammate. This neglect stops the development of the players who actually need the most guidance. It leaves a permanent hole in the lineup that more disciplined teams will eventually exploit. The Dungeon Dogs address this by mandating growth for the entire organization. Every player on the roster receives the same level of investment, regardless of their current standing in the batting order. This pyramid shows the math behind the strategy. When you improve the skills of your 9th, 10th, and 11th players, you expand the base of the team, which naturally raises the ceiling for every other player on the roster. This happens through consistent one-on-one training sessions. Using specialized facilities like the Dungeon in Summerville, coaches focus on specific mechanics of pitching, hitting, and catching to ensure no one's development stagnates. A team is only as effective as its least experienced player. True development means providing the resources for every athlete to improve their individual baseline. Beyond the physical mechanics, a program has to protect its emotional environment. This means being vigilant about the energy present in the dugout and the stands. Negative influences, whether they come from a frustrated athlete, a coach, or a parent, drain the life out of a season. Constant complaining or a lack of focus can distract a team more effectively than any opponent. Dungeon Dogs enforces a standard of class and professional communication on and off the field. There is no room for negativity that distracts from the primary goal of the program. The program fills that space with 3 specific values: mutual respect, a consistent work ethic, and a positive attitude. This environment is necessary because a winning mindset is just as contagious as a negative one. When an athlete is surrounded by focused, disciplined peers, their own on-field performance begins to mirror that standard. When you combine individual development with a strictly positive environment, the nature of the organization changes. The Dungeon Dogs move past being a collection of teammates and become a baseball family. This shift creates friendships that extend beyond the season and encourages a style of play where athletes look out for one another. It effectively removes the I from the team dynamic. The quality of the young adults graduating from the program and the strength of the community they leave behind provide the ultimate evidence of program success. This culture of discipline and clear communication is exactly what college recruiters look for. By teaching athletes how to conduct themselves as professionals, the program creates a direct path to the next level of the game. This map illustrates the reach of that pipeline. Each year, the Dungeon Dogs showcase their players to between 30 and 50 different colleges across the Southeast region, leveraging their reputation for producing high-character athletes. The summer and fall travel schedule provides this exposure without interfering with high school sports programs. If you want to see this developmental model for yourself, you can register for upcoming tryouts on the Dungeon Dogs website. follow their social media pages, or visit the dungeon in Summerville to start refining your mechanics. When you focus on building the athlete first, all the victories on the field and the opportunities for the future happen as a natural result of that foundation.